Well, I can say today, Happy New Year. It is a new year, a new beginning. There's just something about the way God created us, placing the sun and the moon and the stars in just the right patterns so that we could have a yearly new beginning. And so when I think about beginning, it takes me back to the very first book of the Bible. Now, I finished yesterday's devotion with the last 4 verses of the book of Revelation. Today's devotion is going to be on the first 2 verses of the book of Genesis. And I'd like to spend the rest of the next few days talking about this new beginning. As we go into a new year, we need to see life from the perspective of a God who creates things new. And we see it so beautifully described in the book of Genesis. In Genesis 1, verses 1 and 2, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was over the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. So what we see here in these first 2 verses is foundational for our understanding of our very existence. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. How did God do that? By the very sound of his voice. He spoke it into existence. Now, we don't know how that really looked. We don't know how it really unfolded or how it was planned by God. But at the right time, when God was ready, he spoke. And as he spoke, the heavens, can you imagine that? The heavens, that means all the heavenly bodies. And that means universes. All were created by God. Galaxies and solar systems by the power of God. Do you see why it's so important for us to begin with the creation? Once we know God is the creator of all, we understand how we came into existence. And we know that if we're going to find meaning and purpose in life, we're going to have to find it in the God who created us. Because we ask the question, why am I here? Only God can answer that because he's the one that created it. Well, when he created the heavens and the earth, the focus became on the earth. And for you and I, we learned this in verse 2, that the earth was without form. It was void. Darkness was over the face of the deep. What that looked like, we don't know. But God had a plan, and that helps us to know that as we begin a new year, God has a plan for us. What's it going to look like? How's it going to unfold? We don't know, but God does, because God's Spirit is at work. And so the Bible says, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. And I want you to know that he's hovering over your life today. And that as you get ready to go into the new year, though you don't know what it's going to look like, know this, that it's God who created you. It's God who has a plan. And it's God who will bring about all that he desires in your life in the year ahead.